Welcome everyone on my presentation on making foods safe. What is food safety? Food safety deals with how foods are handled, prepared, stored to prevent foodborne illnesses. In a hospital, patients could be more vulnerable than healthy persons to microbial risks. So, food safety in this case is very important. So let's take a look at a globally recognized food safety management system. HACCP is a 7-step food safety management system used globally. HACCP stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. Today, however, we'll be taking a look at step 2, which is identifying critical control points. So let's go ahead and define what a control point is. A control point is any step in the flow of food at which a physical, chemical, or biological hazard can be controlled. So now let's go ahead and look at what a critical control point is. Any point in a specific food system where loss of control may result in a high probability of a health risk. So, in food service, critical control points are receiving, storing, preparing or cooking, distribution, and service. Now, let's take a look at the control points and critical control points that help in keeping foods safe.
Receiving. It's our first line of defense. Accept goods that are in good condition.
Any product defect can be detected while you receive the goods. During delivery, keep frozen fruits frozen and cold foods cold. This is a critical control point. Ensure to check all receipts and ensure that you're receiving the correct product. So, store your cold foods in low temperature areas such as a deep freeze or a walk-in chiller, and your dry foods in a dry, cool, and well-ventilated storeroom. A tool used to assess food safety is our thermometer. It assesses if foods are stored in its correct temperature. So now we see the importance of using the thermometer to monitor all critical control points to tell us if foods are safe to consume or if they're not safe to consume. Let's get into production and what we need to wear when we're in production. We need our safety gears, we need our lab coats, and our headgear, which is our hairnets. By the way, if you're ill, you should not report to work because if you're ill, you can transfer the bacteria to the food. So here we go, we're going to put on our safety gears right now. So we're going to suit up properly and then we're ready to enter our production area. But first, we have to wash our hands to ensure that we are following our food safety guidelines. And this is how a hand wash station is supposed to look. Welcome to our kitchen, where cooking is one of the most important critical control points. At this point, if you're not careful, foods can be easily contaminated. In an industrial kitchen, things are a bit different. Foods are cooked in bulk. Cooking can be very strenuous. Never put a container with food directly on the drain. Even if drains are cleaned every day, they still contain bacteria that can contaminate the food and make our patients very ill. Food poisoning is indeed very serious, as the World Health Organization states that it contributes to 420,000 deaths per year. So, during cooking and draining the steam kettles, ensure that a metal tray is placed between the colander used and the drain to prevent direct contact. Next is cleaning your workspace as you go to not attract especially flies that can spread bacteria. The next critical control point is proper warewashing. This is done to ensure that foods are stored in clean containers and that utensils used to prepare foods are also clean. Also, ensure that all foods, especially meat, were properly pre-prepared for production. An example, soy meats under running water. Prior to service, never leave foods uncovered, exposing it to flies and other physical contaminants. Always cover it up or wrap it up. During service, always preheat your bain-marie before placing pans of food for hot holding. This keeps the food safe and out of the temperature danger zone. Last but not least, during distribution, the critical control point is maintaining the high temperature of the meals. This can be achieved to some degree by storing in insulated styrofoam boxes for a short period of time, or ideally an insulated food carrier. To conclude my presentation, identifying areas where foods can become unsafe for consumption is important in our goal to make food safe and prevent illnesses. Thank you for joining me today as I presented on critical control points and control points.